Brian, let's talk about the strategy of risky investments versus safe investments. How do you decide what that blend should be?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because sometimes I see mistakes made in, well, what I would term a mistake in a portfolio construction, just because you haven't considered what the inner workings of the different investments do with each other. What I mean by that is, let's say that you came in and you said, well, I'm kind of a middle of the road person. I'm kind of aggressive, kind of conservative, I'm not sure which, I'm kind of moderate, we'll call it, right in the middle of the road. So I'd like a portfolio like that. And I might look at their portfolio and say, well, you've got half your money in annuities. I got sold annuities because they're safe. And I notice the rest of your portfolio is 50% in stocks and 50% in bonds. Yep, so that was their moderate thing too. I said, well, when you put those together, you've got 75% that's not in the market, not doing much for you, and only 25% in the market. So is that what you intended? And, well, that seems a little light, doesn't it? I'm like, maybe. So that's why we want to start looking at how the annuities in a portfolio maybe act as a bond substitute. So that if you have both bonds and annuities in there, consider they're almost doing a similar thing by taking volatility out of your portfolio. They are completely different, of course, but so I might look at that person and say, well, you wanted to be kind of 50-50. You already got 50% in annuities. Maybe we don't add any bonds to this mix, and the other 50% would be in an aggressive portfolio. So that's what I'm talking about, having an aggressive piece of yours to offset a not aggressive piece.
Brian, does risk tolerance change as you grow in age? What I mean by that is you can be riskier younger, but when you get to be close to retirement age or you're in retirement age, should your risk tolerance dramatically decrease?
Well, that's a good question, because it does change over time. And I've had people come to me and they say, well, I'm going to retire next year. I'm 62. I guess I got to go with a super conservative portfolio because I'm not working anymore. I said, well, are you dying in the next couple of years? And they go, oh, no, I'm planning on living 30 more years. I said, well, maybe we have a 30-year portfolio. So not necessarily do you need to drop out of the markets just because you're retiring. You might have a long life ahead of you. Conversely, I've had a 95-year-old, now I remember a 99-year-old, I said, do you want anything in more conservative stuff? You're 99. He says, I'm not spending this. It's for kids and grandkids. They got a long time frame left. So that person wanted to be more aggressive as they got older. So it's just kind of interesting that way. I will say that your risk tolerance does often change, not only year by year, but daily. I mean, I've got people that say, I love being aggressive, and then they have a bad month in the market and they go, oh, I can't take this. And so, okay, you're aggressive when the market's up and not when it's down. You don't get it both ways. So maybe we need to have a safer portfolio for that person.
Is there any one set rule for how much risk you should take, or is it just an individual decision?
Yeah, there's something called the rule of 100, and they take your age, and that's the amount you should put in bonds and the rest in stocks. I do not believe in that rule. I believe everybody's different. You know, there's 5 areas to invest in. Broad areas are bonds, stocks, real estate, insurance company products that are safe, and cash equivalents. And everybody's different. And so, you know, there might be some kind of general mix of all of those. I would say that's a rule, that diversification amongst asset classes is generally a good idea. Don't have all your money in bonds. Don't have all your money in annuities. Don't have it all in the market unless you're younger and you can afford that risk. And so that would be maybe the rule is there is no general rule, but we want to have diversification.
Is it a mistake to have all your money in safe investments? You just aren't willing to take any risk whatsoever?
No, it's not a mistake. I've got clients that sleep quite well. Maybe they're older, and they just can't take any risk. In fact, what was interesting is recently, I think it was COVID, the market dropped, and I had this one person just going nuts, and just she said she hadn't slept in 2 weeks, and she was freaking out, and I reminded her she had no money in the market. Mm-hmm. It was all in safe investments. She goes, you mean I've been not sleeping for no reason? I said, yeah, remember that? Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me we're not in the market. Yeah, you're not in the market. So the person that had the worst reaction of all my clients to COVID was the one that wasn't even in the market. So to put her in the market would be a mistake.
Brian, thanks for telling us more about the strategy of safe investments alongside riskier investments.